fighting in the water. Don't beat the water. I call this water as my wife. So you don't come from Mumbai and start beating my wife, you know. In the open waters, you don't swim strongly. You swim wisely.
Nothing behind me, everything ahead of me, as is ever so on the road. Jack Kerouac says in his novel called On the Road. Journey is about hellos and goodbyes, and in between we actually meet people. We are here in Goa. We met this amazing man, Tony Fernandes, an interesting soul, a bike rider, open water swimming coach. But what is open water swimming? So here we are at Binolim Beach to learn and understand it from Tony Fernandes.
Basically, what do you know anything about open water? Have you heard anything about open waters?
Not really.
Not really.
But I am a little bit scared.
Okay, cool. That's not a... I get people who are scared. So
I have swimmed in river and
you have done so, right? Okay. Now, first thing first, what I want to tell you is, right, open waters is classified into two, right? One's your river, lakes and your ponds, right? The other thing is your sea or ocean. Now, one thing you've got to know, this water where you are just looking right now has got a buoyance. It got a buoyance because of the salt. And that buoyance keeps you float extra rather than any other water like your own water or your pond water. You got to focus that. You got to put that in your head that this buoyance would keep, it's never ever let you down. You'll never go down. Even if you want to go down, you'll never go down. You'll struggle to go down. But why this incident's taking place is because people panic in the water. The minute you panic, you have no chance. You end up drinking water, right? And the water end up going into a windpipe. And then you can't breathe. This is what the incident takes place. So never ever panic. When you come to the first thing, you don't panic. First thing. Now, we are humans. We are bound to panic. We are bound to panic. There's only one technique I'll tell you if you're bound to panic is focus on your breathing. And believe me, swimming is all about breathing. It's nothing. It's just breathing. All about breathing. You don't think about, I'm going to buy new clothes. You just focus on your breathing when it comes to water. And believe me, you'll be swimming for hours and days. Only your breathing technique is right. No struggling in the water. No fighting in the water. Don't beat the water. I call this water as my wife. So you don't come from Mumbai and start beating my wife, you know. You just relax. As super cool. It's like you don't beat the water. Never ever beat the water. Okay. Now, in the open waters, you've got to know few things. First of all, the geography of that place. Like, which is north, which is south, which is east, which is west. First thing, yes. Now, where we are facing, this is north, right? Yeah. That's south. That is east, sun rises. This is west. Done? One. Second thing you've got to know about open water is the tide. Tide. You heard of tide, right?
Yeah.
Any idea?
Yeah, high tide, low
tide. Okay. Any idea how many tides in a day?
No.
Okay. There are 4 tides in a day. In 24 hours, 4 tides. One high, low, high, low. Okay. Now, how do you come to know about tides? Now we have gadgets. You just go on Tide Near Me in your app. I mean, there's an app called Tide Near Me. And the tide, they're perfect. They're perfect. There's no doubt about it. They're perfect. So that's how you know your tide. Earlier, my grandfather didn't have how to use an app. So how they used to check out the tides, like they'll come here, look at the water. So they'll wait for a 5 to 10 minutes. If the water has not come up, that means the tide is falling, which is going down. That's a low tide. And they'll say, if the water is rising, the tide is rising. So you come, wait for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and that's how you come to know in those days. Those are tides, right? The currents. Current exists only in the month of June, July, August, September, most of the current. Or if there is a depression in the sea, those times there are current. Anyway, there are government alarms that not to venture the sea at that time. So it's not a problem. Now, how to venture another thing, how to get into the water is the most important thing. There's something called wave, there's something called breaker, and there's something called swell.
Okay, can you
Yeah.
again say again? जवळ ठेव mic लांब ठेवला की ते ऐकू नये. हा.
Alright,
Again, so what is that?
okay. Now, there's something called wave, there's something called breaker, breaker,
Breaker.
and there's something called swell.
Swell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm going to show you. It's not a rocket science, by the way. These are easily. It's not a you can spot this thing easily. So I tell my swimmers, come now watch. I will show you what is a breaker, what is a swell, and what is a wave. Look now, look at the wave. Now watch.
Yeah.
Can you see something is popping up here?
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, this one.
Relax. You can see now again. I see something will pop up again. Watch.
Okay, yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, that is
That-
movie. That is
Yes. Now that is a swell. Look.
Yeah.
That is a swell. One more time. See, there is something popping up.
Yeah.
That is a swell. So I'll be advising you how to handle a swell.
Okay.
Okay? That's in a minute. Now see, the swell. Watch.
Yeah.
The swell converts into a breaker, and the breaker converts into a wave. Now watch. Now both of
Okay.
you can watch, okay?
Yeah.
Now see, there is something called swell. See, swell,
Yeah.
breaker, and
Ah.
now the wave.
Okay.
Again. Watch
Yeah.
again. Now, so that's a swell.
Swell. Yeah.
Swell. Breaker.
Oh.
And now the wave. You understood
Ah,
now?
yeah.
As a
Perfectly.
tourist, you guys come and wave. Nobody knows. Now, there is a technique how to handle all these three things. You just can't. See, lifeguards' biggest nightmare is just 10 to 20 meters. They don't care once you're out there.
Oh.
There are no waves out there. There's no breakers out there. There are only swell.
Okay.
This thing happens only in this 10 meters or 20 meters of water. That's why when tourists come to the beach, you might see lifeguards are like beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
That is their biggest concern. The lifeguard, that's a nightmare. Is this people know how to handle a wave? Is the people know how to handle a breaker? Now, I'll tell you what. How to handle a wave. As you go in, you will get first what you will get?
Swell.
Wave. You're going in,
yeah,
right? You'll
yeah,
get
wave.
the wave, and then you'll get the breaker, and
and
then
then-
you'll get the swell.
Okay.
Right? Now, how to handle a wave? Believe me, waves comes in different shapes and sizes. Today the waves are here. Tomorrow the waves are here.
Ah, yeah. We see in the movies that.
Yes. Tomorrow they're like. So how to handle a wave? When the wave is this size, you face the wave, okay? You just keep going. And when the wave comes, you go on your side and stretch your legs and relax. One thing, you go on the side because you kind of cut the water into two. See?
Oh, okay.
Now, watch. If you try to go and face the water like this, the wave, extra room, the wave have got, hit you here, you will fall off because you're not. See, this one, when you stretch your legs,
It will go
it
away.
will go away. It will just cross past you. But if it's a bigger one, you just can't stand. That's when you put your arm and you jump up and stretch your leg. See, two. Where you stand, one way. If the wave is this height, yeah. If it's quite big, then you just jump up and
Okay.
that's for your wave now. Alright. But at the breakers, you can't do this. You can't go on the side. There's another technique for a breaker. The technique is you either duck dive
Okay.
or you duck.
Okay.
Alright. See, as a human body, I think without practicing holding our breath, we can stay underwater more than 30 seconds, I guess. And the breaker will cross past you within a friction of a second. So you might as well just duck, let the water breaker go on top of you, and you come up comfortably. But without practice, you will panic, believe me. If you got the practice, you have to. It's all about muscle memory. You come into the water, start building relationship with the water. This is what I always say. Without building a relationship, you can't. That's why people panic. That relationship with you and the water. That's the reason I say that's my wife. Honestly, believe me, this is what. You got to build a relationship with the water. And so you'll come first day, second day, so you're like, your confidence level is growing higher and higher. Every day it's up there. So there's like, nobody can touch you after that, right? So now, the third thing is a swell. How to handle a swell? Swell, it just pushes you up and puts you down. You don't do nothing, just relax. You don't do nothing with the swell. You don't duck dive, you don't go on your side, nothing. It just pushes you up and puts you down. So you don't need to worry. You understood now that part?
Yeah.
Where how to handle a wave, how to handle a breaker, and how to handle a swell.
Yeah.
That's done. Now, this thing is very important because it's starting. We are just entering into the water and you get this thing. So these are the things. Theory in swimming is the must. Theory in swimming is it's not always practical.
Yeah.
People need to understand, and you've got to have a plan. What you're going to do in the water once you've done. You have to say. Like normally, see, as you come down to the beach, you start reading the winds, you start reading the tide, you start reading all this thing, and how big are the waves, how small are the waves, what you're going to do. And you got to make a decision on your own. It's a spot decision. You got to be making a decision. Am I ducking down or am I jumping? What's happening? You got to make a decision. Am I going sideways now or am I facing? But always face the wave. You have to face. You can't show your back to your breaker. Believe me, why it is called breaker? A breaker can break you. That's the reason I guess they named after. A breaker can break you. So do not mess with the breaker. People tend to mess with the breaker. Breaker, you can't mess. The n number of time it had hit me on the ground and I'll be like, kab maa ka doodh piyata hai, you know? So, yeah, so you don't mess with the breaker. No messing with the breaker. Waves, yeah, sometimes, but not with the breaker. Yes, now that part is done.
Yeah. Okay. We should go for a swimming in high tide only, na? Not in low.
No. There's nothing like that. There's nothing
Okay.
like that. You tend to see, there are no choppy waters. I normally see, I'll tell you, my simple funda is, I'm a rider as well. Good roads, right, doesn't make you a good rider.
Yeah.
You need some potholes, you know. You need some bad roads. That makes you a good rider. Same way the statistics is applied here. You know, calm sea doesn't make you a good swimmer. You need that roughness. Rough sea make you a better swimmer and wiser swimmer. So it's like swimming not in the open waters. You don't swim strongly. You swim wisely. That makes a difference. You're wise. You've got to be wise enough to swim harder, lighter. So yes. So now we can get into the sea. You want to take
Yeah.
your...
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, start building a muscle memory. When the wave comes, yes, you go on the side. Look, yes. And look at it. Just a little bit. Little bit. Yeah, that's it. Now get straight. Alright. To walk in the water, you never drag your feet like this.
So now again it's coming, right?
उड़े खुले आसमान में ख्वाबों के परिंदे उड़े दिल के जहां में ख्वाबों के परिंदे
Okay. Yeah, it's cold.
लगता है अब है जागे हम
Sorry. So, tell us about something which you were telling us that
Yeah, I was like, why, considering India has got so much water, like from the Gujarat to Maharashtra to Goa to Karnataka, then Kerala, then as you go down into Tamil Nadu, so it's like Bay of Bengal, and we've got the Arabian Sea. And we are not good swimmers, we are scared of water. I want to ask this question, why the Indians are so scared of water, where the waters never let you down. They need to know the water never lets you down. It's just the panic that lets everyone down, not the water. And I do like to change the phrase when our mothers and grandmothers or grandfathers had said, Baba, udhar mat jao, dubega. It's not that. It should be, please go, but don't panic. That should be the phrase, not dubega. Nobody's dubta hai. That's what I feel being a open water swimming coach. And I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I didn't find water is not. It's just the fear has been placed in our head that water kheenchta hai, There's nothing like that. Please, I beg you, please do come and enjoy the open waters.
and last question, where exactly you teach open water swimming?
Where we are right now is on Benaulim Beach, where I'm always there from 7 to 8. And give me a call, or you just show up yourself at 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. That's normally the session time. And it's very, I guess you guys had a great time.
Yeah.
You too. That was your first open water swim. And seems everything going perfect. And
We are really looking forward for tomorrow's
that's
session.
perfect. See, these guys are enjoying.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
खुले आसमां में ख्वाबों के परिंदे उड़े दिल के जहां